My channel will get taken down with my 2,000 videos. Look at this. These are all copyright claims.
It looks to me like Rick Beato was targeted. These companies have their guys, they're not attorneys, but that sit there at their desks all day long and they seek out to find content fair use. Universal doesn't want you to use its song. Universal doesn't get a say. So Rick Beato just released a new video entitled, "This record label is trying to silence me," and I have never seen him this fed up, and I understand why. I'm an entertainment attorney of over 11 years. I represent clients who have big YouTube channels just like Rick, so let's jump into it and see what's going on.
What's up, everyone? I hate making these videos, but I really need to because it seems like the only thing that ever gets done is when you talk about this stuff. UMG, Universal Music Group, has continued to send emails about copyright content ID claims and now copyright strikes on my channel. As a matter of fact, I have 3 shorts, okay, these are under a minute long, that if they go through in the next 4 days, I'll have 3 strikes on my channel.
And the reason that matters is if you get 3 strikes on your channel gets deleted. I believe at this point, Rick has something like 5 million subscribers on his YouTube channel. So this is a life or death situation for his channel. Rick's been very vocal about the challenges with these major record labels who are putting claims on his videos. I've talked about this with other big creators, such as with Knox Hill. And I've been going to bat with these major record labels. And I can tell you that what the major labels have said in these closed door meetings to me is nothing short of shocking. But let's go back to Rick.
If you don't fight these things, those 3 strikes would actually remove my channel from YouTube. The first one is here. It's an Adam Duritz video. It's a short, and it's using the song 6th Avenue Heartache.
You sang the harmony part on 6th Avenue Heartache.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to know how much money this is over, that one video, the 6th Avenue Heartache one, made $36.52 with its 250,000 views. So they're going to take my channel down over less than $100 for using a small segment from an interview with him on a song he sang on.
Now, guys, context on this matters. When we're talking about educators like Rick Beato, or when we're talking about reaction channels where someone is sitting there and they're like, hey, this new song by this famous artist came out. I'm sitting there, I'm dissecting it. I'm talking about the lyrics. Or in Rick's case, he's talking about the composition of the song, the career of the artist, right? He's doing something that is educational. So that is typically going to qualify for something called fair use. If it's fair use, that means you get to use someone else's copyrighted stuff without their permission. So meaning if you're using a song that belongs to Universal, even if Universal doesn't want you to use its song, if what you're doing qualifies as fair use, Universal doesn't get a say.
That video is 55 seconds long. The next one has me in it. It's an Olivia Rodrigo song that I played maybe 10 seconds of the song on, and the short is 42 seconds long. Who did it? Universal Music Group. The third copyright strike is from a Hans Zimmer short. It's also UMG. It's from the Crimson Tide soundtrack. Now, what do these things say? It says, what happened? Your video is scheduled to be removed in 4 days and your channel will get a copyright strike due to removal request from a claimant. The claimant is Universal Music Group, UMG. If you delete your video before then, your channel won't get a copyright strike. Just today, I opened up my email, and if you look at this, these are all copyright claims that just came in, or content ID claims. So they start at 1:04, and then the next one's at 1:04 p.m. The next one's at 1:04, then 1:18 p.m., then 1:33 p.m.
Let me say this because some of these companies that come back and they're like, oh, it's our automated system, right? We are in content ID. And so it's YouTube's automated system that is putting the claims on these videos. And I'm kind of calling BS on that. I know for a fact these companies have their guys. They're not attorneys, but they have their guys that sit there at their desks all day long and they seek out, they watch the videos to find content that belongs to, let's say, Universal. They then file their claims. And let me be clear on this. Normally the claim is they want to monetize the video. If you guys remember, Rick used to talk about this. He goes, I didn't used to fight the claims, right? If another label came along and claimed my video, even though I have the right to keep the monetization because I am transforming the song into a new thing because I'm doing an educational video, I don't want want to fight, so I'm just gonna let it go. And then more recently, he's been like, no. For the thousands of claims that he has gotten on his videos, he started to push back, which is his legal right. And so from what he's showing, that there's just one after another claim from Universal, it looks to me like Rick Beato was targeted.
Then 2:01 p.m., 2:16 p.m., 2:18 p.m., 2:20 p.m., 2:21 p.m., 2:29 p.m., 2:30, 2:32. Those emails are all in a row. That's how many I got just between 1:30 and 2:30. All those content ID claims from videos that are all fair use. Now, I mentioned this a few weeks ago when I made the video, when I was talking about the Professor of Rock and his challenges with copyright content ID claims, threats to strike your channel and take it down, things like that. And it continues to happen. And I've hired a lawyer full time because it's a full-time job. I've had probably 4,000 claims over the last 9 years from things that are fair use, where I'm discussing songs. I'm doing interviews with people where I'm playing the music that they either wrote and recorded or they produced. I finally broke with this. At first I was like, okay, forget about it. I won't do it. And then I did a Rick Rubin interview and it had 13 copyright claims in the video. That's when I hired a lawyer to fight these.
What I can also tell you guys is that usually there are non-lawyers that are filing the claims. So then that requires Rick Beato or you other YouTube content creators to go and call your lawyer to help you with the counter notification, because it's pretty scary. If you're going to fight these and it escalates, they're like, hey, if you do an official counter notification or an appeal, in other words, like under the penalty of perjury, I mean, there's all kinds of warnings before you actually say, no, this is fair use. I believe that to be the case. But in any instance, this is what happens. You fight back, let's say on that first pass, which is just someone's trying to claim your monetization. You go, no, you don't get to claim it. And then it's up to the claimants whether they're going to escalate it. So with these labels, what we've been seeing that they do, if you try fighting them, they get upset. And that's when this thing starts to escalate to then a strike. And it's really unfortunate that there's only 3 strikes, because it puts you in a very disadvantaged position when you just received, I don't know, 24 claims on your videos. And so for some of these companies, after it does escalate and they get a counter notification, they have one of their lawyers look at it. But that lawyer's opinion doesn't mean it's actually the case. And I have had situations where someone came back and they're like, oh no, our lawyer looked at it, but actually our paralegal looked at it and said they didn't think it was a very good video. And so it gets difficult because that's a super subjective, you just personally didn't like the video. That's not the law, and that's not the analysis for fair use.
And what he's done is he fought every single claim. And there's many of my interviews, which are all fair use, that have multiple songs in them. When I interviewed Daniel Lanois, there were so many songs in it. Brendan O'Brien, all these producers that I interview, and forget about the artist that I interview where I play their music and we talk about it. You need to play people's music to talk about it. That is the definition of fair use. These are interviews with the people about their careers. Now, why are these record labels wanting to take down content about artists that have records on their label? What sense does that make? Well, you might say, well, they don't own their own songs, they don't own their own publishing, they sold it. No. This is actually the sound recordings that are in here. So it is literally Universal Music Group because they own the sound recordings.
And I can actually answer that. What they say is that you are devaluing their sound recordings, their music, by playing it on your big show, your big fancy show, because it's taking away from people going and listening to the music elsewhere. And my pushback to that is always that is silly. That doesn't even make sense. Having an opportunity to have your song played on Rick Beato is going to get significant exposure and hopefully interest from a brand new generation.
Yes, some of the content ID claims come from the publishers as well. So sometimes I'll get 2 different claims. I don't even understand how this works, honestly. But we have successfully fought thousands of these now. But it literally cost me so much money to do this. Since we've been fighting these things and never lost one, they still keep coming in. I mean, it's ridiculous. What do I have to do here? I'm sorry to come on and complain, but Universal, honestly, they're all Universal Music Group. So they obviously have hired some third-party company that are dredging up things. They're looking for things that haven't been claimed in the past. They're taking videos from 7-8 years ago. Give it a rest. My God.
I don't think there's a third-party company involved here. I think it's internal. And I'm telling you, for all my big content creators across the board, it is Universal that is doing this.
Now, if I didn't fight these 3 claims, my channel will get taken down with my 2,000 videos. Is that ridiculous? It's ridiculous to me. And they're for interviews. It's ridiculous.
The general increase in aggression by Universal is not only something that I'm noticing, but the volume at which they are filing these claims on channels that are, again, reaction channels, educational channels. And I don't know if what they're trying to do is to get everyone to just stop reacting to songs that Universal owns, or maybe it's going to become just so unbelievably difficult for these YouTubers to be able to run their channels that they're going to cave and just let Universal collect the monetization, regardless of the fact that it's not entitled to under the law. Or maybe Universal's just going to turn around and say, you know what? You should just get a license from us, when again, one was not required to begin with. I'm definitely sorry that our YouTube content creator community is dealing with this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm Top Music Attorney.